You know, there's a very big problem when you're trying to reduce the deficit by increasing taxes, because it happens that taxes never seem to go to the bottom line. If they did, that would be one thing. You know, common sense is that you increase tax rates, you're going to bring in more revenue, and you decrease tax rates, you're going to bring in less revenue. But that doesn't work that way, and it's pretty much the same way when you think you're going to increase taxes, you're going to reduce the deficit. It just doesn't work out. And recent history proves it. You know, there's an economics professor at Ohio University by the name of Professor Vetter. He's studied taxes and spending for a long period of time. And you know what he's found? He's found that since World War II, for every dollar of new taxes, somehow it just gives Congress a license to spend $1.17. You know, it's kind of like a dog chasing its tail. It just never catches it. And so you increase taxes $1 and you have a bigger deficit. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way it's worked out. So more revenue coming into the federal treasury seems to be a license then for Congress to spend more money, despite the best intentions of those who want to reduce the deficit through the process of increasing taxes. Today, it's pretty clear that Washington then doesn't have a revenue problem, it's a spending problem. In other words, you're not undertaxed, Congress overspends. Government spending has increased 22% during the last 2 years, not even counting the failed stimulus spending program of $814 billion. People outside the Beltway know that that level of spending in Washington is not sustainable. The clear message voters sent last fall in the election was to spend less. That's the challenge for Congress and the President. Federal deficits and debt and uncertainty about Washington's fiscal management is getting in the way of private sector job creation, and hence we don't have the economic recovery that we ought to have. To me, it isn't just a fiscal or economic issue, there's also a moral issue. And that moral issue is that it's wrong for this generation, my generation, and younger generations to overspend and leave the bills to children and grandchildren to pay.